The ultimate Rolex model tier list. First up, we've got the ceramic Daytona. Now, I think this is appropriately rated. I think that the Daytona with the white face, so the Panda, is more of a classic piece, but this one appropriately rated. Next up, the white gold Yachtmaster. No prizes for guessing where this goes here. It is in the gross category. No one likes it. Now, this next piece, the two-tone Datejust. This is a classic. I would put it in Grail territory, but everyone can get a two-tone Datejust. When you see a two-tone Datejust, you know exactly what it is. You know it's a Rolex. That's why it sits up there in that classic territory. Now, next up, we've got the Submariner. Now, this is a Grail piece. It's a Grail piece, even though it is easier to attain. The Grail piece, because everyone gets it. This is the watch that has put Rolex on the map. This is the watch that everyone wants. This is the watch that everyone is on the list for, the fabled list at the ADs. Everyone wants a Submariner date. This is just a Grail piece that I think everyone should have. This is top tier classic Rolex. Hello? Okay, cool. I'll let him know. So that was my AD, and he said that you are next up on the list for any model that you want if you go down there and hit up that subscribe button. Anyway, let's kick on with the video. The next watch is the two-tone Submariner, the bluesy. Now, this thing is a classic piece. I love it. I think this, the same with the two-tone Datejust. When you see a two-tone Submariner, when you see that blue face, you know it's Rolex. And the fact that it's got a nickname like Bluesy, and that this is what's being thrown around, it is classic Rolex. You can't go wrong with a Bluesy. Even though it might seem old man, it might seem old money, whatever it is just a great classic piece. Next up, the solid gold Submariner. Now, I'm going to put this in the rated category. Actually, I'm going to put it in the overrated category, mainly because I do like the blue face. When you get the solid gold in the blue face, I think that's appropriately rated. But I think the yellow gold Submariner with the black face, I think it's overrated. I don't think it hits as well as it should compared to other models, especially when you're doing something with precious metal like a yellow gold. That is just my take. I think the yellow gold Submariner is an overrated piece. Now, the Yachtmaster. I think the Yachtmaster, this is a classic piece. This images and photos and videos, they just can't do this justice, especially when you see this slate dial. It's absolutely gorgeous. The blue dial, absolutely love that as well. This is a piece that I think a lot of people pass up. A lot of people don't realize and consider until they see it in person. I think it is a more polished, well, it is a polished version of the Submariner, but I think it's a more classy, more refined piece than the Submariner. It's got a nice, silky, smooth feel to it, and the polished center links, absolutely gorgeous. I think the Yachtmaster is a classic piece. Next up, we're going to go the root beer, the two-tone rose gold GMT Master 2. Now, this thing is appropriately rated. I think it's great. It has nice texture. It has a great look to it, great feel to it, but I feel like it just doesn't stack up against some of the other GMT Masters, GMT Master 2s in the lineup and in the range and in the collection, but it's appropriately rated. When you get that piece on, it is great. Now, the next up is the GMT Master 2 with the Meteorite dial. This thing is a grail. This thing is beautiful. This thing is spectacular. When you've got this on your wrist, people may not know what you've got on, but real Rolex connoisseurs, real watch enthusiasts will know exactly what you've got on. You've got this heavy hitting precious metal piece. You've got the Meteorite dial, absolutely brilliant, absolutely gorgeous. This is top tier. Next up, you've got the Yachtmaster with the Oyster Flex. And I'm actually going to put this as an overrated piece, mainly because it is the most non-precious metal looking precious metal watch in Rolex's lineup, I believe. And even though it looks all right, there are just like almost like a texture clash in what it should be. It's got these raw, rugged textures to it that look like they should be in a tool watch, but it's got the polished aspect of it makes it feel a little bit like a dress watch. It feels like it's very conflicted in what it's doing. I'm not saying it's a bad watch. I'm not saying it isn't a great piece, but I think it is overrated for what it is, and I think it is reflected in when people actually get allocations of Yachtmaster 42s. Next up, the Sky Dweller on Oyster Flex in yellow gold. Now, I'm going to go overrated as well. I do like the Oyster Flex, but only on particular models, and I don't think it really suits on a Sky Dweller. I think a Sky Dweller, because it's got a great complication because it is a very heavy, robust piece. It needs something that feels like it's going to be locked on and solid and on the wrist. So I feel like a steel bracelet makes sense. That's why I'm going to put the yellow gold in the overrated category. Next up, the granddaddy of them all, the yellow gold Daydate. This is a grail. This is a piece. It's called the presidential for a reason. The thing about this watch is the same with some Datejust. This is iconic. It's been around forever. It's in movies. When someone's got on a Daydate, you know exactly what it is. You know what kind of person they are. You know what kind of collector they are. You know what kind of piece they've got on their wrist. That's why this is going up there as a grail. Next up is the Platinum Daytona, the Playtona. This is an absolute grail of a piece. It's heavy, it's bright, it's brilliant. It's just an amazing piece. If you could get yourself on that list at the AD and actually get this, everyone will snap it up every single time. There will be no hesitation. There won't be any posts on Reddit going, hey, should I get this? I'm not sure if I like it. This thing is in demand. It's hot. Everyone wants it. And it is a gorgeous, beautiful, brilliant piece. Next up, the two-tone Explorer. I'm going to put this in the overrated category. I really don't like it. I think the Explorer being a tool watch, being a rugged watch, the Explorer, it should actually be in a place where it doesn't have precious metal. The precious metal will scratch. I feel like it's a conflict of what it should be and what it's trying to become. I feel like it doesn't work quite well for the configuration that it is. Next up, the Tiffany Oyster Perpetual. This thing is going in the appropriately rated. I think it's all right. I don't think it's overrated. I'm going to put it in overrated. I do think it's overrated as the Tiffany. If it was another color dial, I think it may be appropriately rated. Not worth what it's getting done on the secondary market, but yeah, overrated. Actually, I'm going to put it in that overrated. I am going to keep it there for the moment. Next up, the Wimbledon. I think the Wimbledon is overrated. I don't like it. I know that the date window and the marker at 9 are meant to have that symmetry and balance it out, but I think it looks gross. The Roman numerals, the indices, they look disgusting. I don't like it. I think it's overrated. I would put it in the gross category, but I have to reserve that for other pieces that are down in the Yacht Masters, things like that. Next up, the Explorer 2 Polar. This thing is a classic. This is up there. I like it. If the dial was black, I don't think I would have put it in classic. I put it in the rated, but I do feel like it is just a classic piece. The Explorer 2 in white, the Polar. Now, with the Sky Dweller, where I'm going to put this is I'm going to put this in rated. I like the Sky Dweller. I think it's good. I like other combinations of the Sky Dweller. I wouldn't say it's a classic piece. It's a great piece. I think it's decently rated because when you take into account people that aren't Rolex connoisseurs or watch collecting people, you end up with this confusion between the Sky Dweller, the Datejust, and the Daydate. I think the complications are great, and as a whole, it's a timepiece that's decently well rated. Next up, the Rolex Cellini. Now this, I'm going to put this in gross. I don't like it. I think it has its place. I think you can admire it for what it is, but when I look at it, I don't get the emotion. I don't get the conviction that I have with other Rolex models. With the Cellini, I look at it and it feels like it's trying to copy. It feels like it's trying to be one of those established houses, be a Patek. It feels like it's trying to be a JLC. It feels like it's trying to be classy and classic, but I just don't feel like it hits it. Now, I know I'm going to get a whole bunch of hate in the comments. I know people are going to say that, but there's a reason that when you see people wearing a Cellini, there's comments online saying, I guess they couldn't get any of the sports models from Rolex. Now, next up, we're going the Pepsi. I'm going to put this in Grail. This is an amazing piece. People love this. People want to be on the waitlist for it. There's the debate back and forth. This is as iconic as a Daydate. It's as iconic as a sub. This is the piece that's up there. And yes, I've got 2 GMT Master 2s on this list, but saying that, you can't go past a Meteorite dial, so you have to kind of throw this into the mix. The only difference is the fact that it has a Meteorite dial. Basically, if you get a Pepsi, it is just a quality piece overall. I think you can't go wrong. It is a grail watch for a lot of people. Next up, we've got the two-tone Yacht Master. We're heading up in the gross category. Same thing as the main Yacht Master in precious. It's just not a good piece. go back to the start of the video. That's why I don't like it. And then lastly, we've got the most terrible, the most disgusting watch that Rolex has ever produced. We have the Deep Sea Challenge. It is gross, it is disgusting, no one wants it. So that is the ultimate Rolex model tier list. Let me know down below what you would have done, what you'd put up the top, what you'd put in the gross section, and throw at me the next watch brand you would like me to do a model only tier list on. Hopefully you enjoyed this video just as much as I did making it. If you did like this video, go down there, hit up that subscribe button, and then also hit up that like button. And as always, until next time.